Hi. I mean, good morning, good evening, good night, whatever you are. So there's the wedding. So again, I am in another place. But anyway, it's all good. So I don't really remember exactly why he said to do this. So whoever is remembering something that I forgot, please let me know here, okay? This video is regarding what this guy that I have channeled that we called Peter Pan, but it's like it was a fauno, that he said that we had to work with for the next 8 months until August next year. So one of the things that we have receiving in these messages this past month was that in August next year we will have this job to do all together in the middle of August. So we have to be all prepared in our 12 aspects all together. Okay, so we have to be ready for that moment. What we are doing this whole year, and when I say this whole year is not 2020, I'm speaking about from July 30, 2020 till July 30, 2021. Okay, that's the year for me. So throughout all this year, what we are doing is to work in the inner aspect to align ourselves. But also, for all the people that resonate with this, we are also working to prepare ourselves for a work that we are going to do all together, that we are going to do as a task, a planetary task that we all have. So in this past month of Scorpio, what we have been receiving is that this work that we all have to work with will be in next August. So during the next August, there will be an alignment throughout the 12 nodes of the planet. So the 12 nodes must be reconnected. In August next year, according to what they were saying, what we are going to do is to work in the 12 nodes of the planet. So the 12 people that are my friends that are helping me to sustain, to hold my energy and all the work that I am doing, they will be distributed in the 12 nodes physically. They will go to those places. And me, myself, I will go to the North Pole where the magnetical and the physical are aligned. So that's the axis of the planet. We will be working with the whole planet, but in order to create the grid, in order to create the connection of the network, we are going to need all the people that has been working from within. Okay, so that's the task for what we are getting prepared to. So what we are going to need is for people to be connecting and aligned and doing the distribution of this information in the network all around the planet. So as you may see, the people that we are going to be working with this, we have to be aligned with all this work. So that's why we are doing this 360 days of alignment, because we are working for us to be aligned for that job. Okay, so it's a long job. The only thing that will connect us all during that moment will be just music. So music will be the only tool that we are going to have. The rest is about you. The rest is about all you have learned through the alignments through the year. Don't be afraid of all this now, because we have time, and I am going to be preparing you and explaining you better about what is exactly the task. Okay, so don't worry. This is one of the first videos I'm going to do just for that task. So one of the things that this Peter Pan said to us is that we are not aligned, that we have to be working like a clock, that this is like wheels, and the wheels must be all aligned, otherwise it's not working properly in case it's all trapped. So we need to align all our processes. This is what we are this thing that we are working every day with these alignments is precisely for that, for the clock to be aligning the little hands of the clock. In this task, this is why we are doing alignments, because to align means to be all in line. Okay, so that's why our gears are like in a bad position, and then we have to align them to be all in the same position. So in this position, okay, we can align all our bodies. So now picture that we have different gears, different wheels that are working together, and what we have to do is to align each one of them with these lines that are 12 in each level. So this means that we have 12 different little hands of the clock that we have to align in different levels. Okay, so we can be aligned. So this being, Stefano, explained that it is very important to understand, to do this, to understand the system of 12. And related to the physical body, most of it related to the 12 systems of our body. Bien. First of all, before I go to explain this, I would recommend to you all to go and to check the video of panic. When we talk about panic, that was November 15th. Okay, thank you. November 15th. So November 15th, this entity that we are calling Peter Pan, but it was not Peter Pan. Is a concept of the being. There, you will know why we are talking about this now. What I would recommend to you is to take notes now, because I will give you some list and some steps to follow. Okay. First of all, we will have 4 different gears or wheels in which we are going to be working with. Okay. So the 4 wheels, the 4 gears will be: the first one, constellations; the second one, concepts; the third one, systems; and the fourth one, people. Okay, each one of these columns, these 4 will be like columns. Okay, constellations, systems, constellation, concepts, systems, and people. And each one of them will have 12 aspects below, each one of them. I will try to write it down here so I can show it to you. So in order for this clock to work, we are going to need 4 gears. I made a mistake. I'm already mistaken. So this is a problem. So in the 12th constellation, in the constellation, we are going to write there in a list the 12 constellations. Okay, so the constellations in this order: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Okay. Then in concept, what we are going to write is the concept of time and space of that constellation. So space would be the element in nature, and the time would be the process that this element is living. So let's go into that. So first of all, the physical and the spatial, the space element. So for Aries would be fire, for Taurus will be earth, for Gemini will be air, for Cancer will be water. Okay, so then you just repeat it 3 times more: fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water. Okay. Okay. So maybe we can also separate it in this way. The first 4 are related to the body, the other 4 are related to the soul, and the other 4 are related to the spirit. So now we go to the process of time, the concept of time. So for the fire will be integration. So the 3 fires that you find will be integration. So in the same list of concepts, we have space and time. Okay, 2 different concepts, space and time. So this would be the space, which are the elements, and this would be the time, which is the process. So all the fires will be integration. All the earth will be experimentation. All the air ones will be transcendence. All the waters will be expression. Now give me a moment, because here's the complicated. I took weird notes here. So now we go to the systems. So this will be the order. So from the first one to the last one, all related to the constellations. First one, the reproduction system. The next one is the muscle system, the respiratory system, the lymphatic system, the digestive system. Below we have the integumentary system. Then we have the immune system, immunological system. Then we have the excretor system, the endocrine system. Then we have the system of bones, the skeleton. Then we have the nervous system, the nerves. And then we have the circulatory system. Then I go to explain, okay? So in the last one, we will have family, partners, friends, and enemies. So in the last line, what I have to do is to find out which one are the ones representing each system for me. So here I would have to put mom, dad, grandmother, grandfather. Now you will start to ask me, and what happens if I don't have a partner, if I don't have an enemy, if I don't have sons? So it's easy, you just don't put it. And that's it. So this means that you will put the names of the people that represents for you this. maybe they are all family, maybe they are all friends, maybe some of them are people that you hate. So it doesn't matter. It's just people that you know that represents what you perceive on this. Important thing, I am not any one of them, okay? It's not anyone. It has to be people from the outside. Remember that we are axis, so we cannot be outside. So they can only be people that are in the outside, alive or dead. So this will be the clock that we have to balance, to equilibrate. So I am this point, the one in the middle, in the center. This would be kind of, okay? Constellations in the center, concepts, systems, people. So those are the 4 systems that we have to align in order to be able to be connected with the planetary nodes, which are around the planet. So we have to remember that we are all connected in a matrix, in a web, okay? So we are all connected in this network, in this web, in the matrix. So the matrix is all like this if we are not aligned. If we are unbalanced, all the ties, the strings of this network is all entangled like this. But if I start to align them, what I can do is to touch these strings like if they were a guitar, a harp. So they could resound better, so I can move and pull the energy from the nodes of the planet from myself. Remember that the reason why it's 12 is because we are trying to connect with the planetary grid, which is made of a dodecahedron and an icosahedron. This here. So this is the system we are trying to connect to. So this system is the dodecahedron and the icosahedron together. The dodecahedron is, if you see this blue face here, is a pentagon. So 12 pentagons all together, they create a dodecahedron, which means 12 faces. Okay? And then we have these 12 faces connected by triangles like this. We have 20 triangles like them, so that's the icosahedron. So the icosahedron here would be heading its vertices in the center of each one of the pentagonal faces, and that creates 12 centers of power. So in the Earth we have these centers which are 12. That's why we repeat 12, 12, 12. So the 12 nodes of the planet are the ones that breathe out and breathe in, open out and open inside the doors of the planet. And all this network that you see here of strings, we call that matrix. So what happens if I have no idea what are these nodes? That all the strings, all the matrix starts to be entangled and we are trapped in the matrix. But if you recognize which are the nodes, you start to work with the matrix and you start to connect with the doors of the world. The only reason why we are trapped in matrix is because we have no idea how to identify our own axis, the nodes. So what they are asking for us to do for August next year is to be able to identify these nodes in our own life so we are able to connect with the bigger nodes. So this is the same thing that the structure I just showed you. Okay. You see this circle here. This is organized in a circle. And this circle is just a representation of the sphere, which was the dodecahedron and icosahedron that I just showed. So is there anyone in the beginning and anyone in the end? No, there's no beginning, no end on the sphere or a circle. So this here is just a list. It doesn't matter which one is the first one. This is just a way of organizing. That's it. Doesn't matter. Okay? So let's go to try to understand each one of the columns. So the reason why we have to understand now each column is to be able to align each one of the levels into the correct aspect. So we are all aligned. Okay? The reason why we're doing this is because when you get to align this, with this one, and the next one, you are not entangled anymore. You just know where the line goes. So when you are ready to connect with the planetary node, the energy goes straight. So when we are going to use the music, the line, the wave of the music will go straight to the node. So this is like trying to tune the instrument we are. That's why we are going to use only music, nothing else. So now pay attention and write it down, even if this is going to be recorded, of course. But the task will be to make your astrological chart. So pay attention to this, because then you will have to figure that out. Someone asked me if the people can repeat some of the notes, and no. There should be always someone different for each node. So first of all, let's understand the constellations. Okay? We all have the constellations since we are born in our astrological chart. But this will be in the houses. Okay? In astrology, you have the houses. And the houses are always in the same place. So we have, for example, the house of Cancer is the 4th, the house of Leo is the 5th, the house of Virgo is the 6th, and they are always like that. But then we have planets. For example, here I have, I don't know, Mars in the 6th house and Saturn in the 9th house. Okay, so this is the one, this is kind of showing me how, from my point of view in the center, I perceive the planets. So the energy of the constellation goes through the planet, conditioning me to be what I am. See? So what I have to do here with this is that I have here the 12 houses, and in these houses here, I have to know which one of these signs are the most important are the most awakened in me, which ones are the most slept in me, which ones have tools for me, and which ones are giving me conflicts in my life. Y también cuáles no tienen nada, están vacías, and also which ones are empty and has nothing. So the importance of knowing this is to realize my first year is what are the things that makes me be what I am. What I am now. You have time. You can ask to some. You have 8 months to check with the astrologist. So you will figure it out. So you can ask more deeply to that person. So we have 4 things to take note of this. So what I have to know about my constellations, my chart, is, first of all, what are the most present signs in me? What are the most absent signs in me? What are the tools that I have in those signs? And what are the conflicts that I have in those signs? This is a process of acknowledging yourself. Okay? So now these questions to an astrologist. Of course, there are some websites that you can do it by freely, but if you don't know about astrology, just it's better to ask and to do it with someone able to explain you. These are just our signs, okay? But if you follow the Vedic one, so use the Vedic one. If you are following the Mayan one, use the Mayan one, okay? But they have to be 12. So that's why I'm using this one. But the most important thing is from where you relate to the cosmos, okay? If you don't have your time, you don't know exactly the time of birth, so you ask your astrologist and you will try to find out according to what you feel, what you perceive, closer to the time that you think that you were born. So, important thing to know, you're not doing this astrological chart to see if you are a happy person or a sad person, you know, like those kind of things. No. What you are doing here is just to know the tools that you have, the conflicts that you have in your astrological chart, the most absent signs and the most present signs. That's it. Okay? So the next step, which is concept, would be to understand that we have always 4 process, that the process has 4 stages in the universe: expression, experimentation, integration, and transcendence. So what I have to look for is if I find myself in which one of these 4 stages I find myself in each one of the constellations. So the next thing would be to identify in which stage I find myself in, for example, Aries. So Aries is the beginner, is the one that starts with energy, everything. So maybe, even if it's the energy of stars, of the beginner, maybe I am not living the energy from the beginning. Maybe I am finishing things. So if I am finishing things, maybe I am integrating things and not expressing them. So I have to see in which stage I find myself in each constellation. If I am a beginner, if I am beginning things, or I am just someone that came to finish things and I don't have the energy to start, to begin, okay? So this I have to identify for each one of the signs. So the thing in concept, once I identified if it's expression, transcendence, experimentation or so, what I have to write is about the concepts that awaken these constellations in my life. So for example, I could ask myself in Aries is the beginner, but also is the one that gets mad and angry. So so what I have to write down there is what emotions of Aries I express the most. in which situations I express these energies the most. Okay? That's what I have to write. Maybe the list is long here, but that's what you have to express here, to identify the emotions that you live from that constellation. And then I have the 12 systems. Sorry, I will go to the peoples first because it's easier. Pay attention to this, that I just said that in the concept you have to write down which emotions and in which situations, two things, emotions and situations, that I expressed according to that constellation. So the next thing would be to think about the people, the person that I feel, that I perceive, and that comes up constantly in my mind every time that I feel that emotion, that I think of that situation, or that I talk about that constellation. So at the first time, maybe you will picture many people, or no one, and then you will find someone. But if you have many people, so you write them all, and then with the time, you just take a review on that, and you just erase the ones that you say, no, I don't think this one would be, okay? Until you just stay with one. So now the systems. The systems are the physical ones. So there are 12, and for sure we don't know the 12 of them. We don't usually know about them. So the task for you about the systems is to read about each one of them, to understand biologically what are their own process, what they work for. And then you have to look for the information in biodecodification. So the decodification of the emotions that these systems work for. So when you understand the physical aspect, you will identify the conflicts that you have. And maybe one conflict is that I had no idea that system existed, or I never think about the system. So then you have to look into biodecodification to check which emotions and which situations are aligned to each one of these systems in my body. So I can relate the emotions that I felt in the concepts and the constellations and the people with my physical body, and to know which people and which emotions are aligned with each one of my systems. In this way, what we are going to do is to kind of take an idea of where my lines are going. It's important to know that this is mutating constantly. This changes constantly. So this is not something that you will discover and, oh, that's it, this is it. No, it's not like that. It will change constantly according to the situations and the things that you are living in your life. So this is going to be a practice. We have to practice during this month. And when August arrives, we already will know how to do this. We already will have the work within to identify. So in the moment of the task, we already know how to do it. Okay? Like this. So easily. And once we do that, maybe after the task, it will also change in another moment. But don't worry. It's just to know how the system works. So this is a job to understand this during the whole life. This is not something to understand right now in these minutes that I spoke. So I am leaving this system so you know now how to start to work with it. Okay? So first of all, I will recommend you to start knowing about this, to recognizing these concepts. So don't do the list right now and want to do all the things right now. What you have to do first is to read about the signs, what are the motions of the signs, what are they reflecting, how they connect, and then to take a date with your astrologist, okay? And according to the systems, read about the systems, read about your body, identify where they are, because maybe you don't know exactly where to put all these systems that are inside of you and are so important. Okay? Learn about them and then read or ask about the biodecodification of these systems, what they represent, what they mean, what are the emotions, what are the conflicts that I may have, okay, all that. Once we already have much more ideas of what the constellations are and the systems are, then we start to work with the concepts and the people. So we have plenty of time to work with this. So this video will be recorded. So here you have this image, so you can stop it and write it down and to know the relationship between each one of the systems signs all are related to. Okay. It seems a lot, but it's not too much. So thank you for being there, and see you later for the alignment. And thank you for sharing this video so other people can see it. Bye.